Falcon and a couple of stories. We just have this kind of skimp description. And Hammett is writing in the third person for the first time. His previous stories were first person. And he's trying to flesh out the character, but still I think we're in a transitional process. But the hallmark of Spade, as a lone operator, a loner, that's very, very important. And Chandler always saw the significance of Hammett's emphasis on that. But the key to Sam Spade is, unlike the great detective in the English tradition, his main concern is not to solve crimes, but rather just to survive. And if you were to make the contrast with Chandler's Marlowe, I would say that Hammett's Sam Spade is the kind of detective that Continental Ops would like to have been. Whereas Marlowe, of course, is the kind of private operator and private detective that intellectuals would like to have been. You know, the two kind of things come from different directions.
In Hammett's world, women are usually beautiful but treacherous, and woe betide any man who lets himself fall for them.
Hammett, of course, was a womanizer throughout his life, many mistresses. So it was a major thing in his life, in the novels, and indeed in the radio programs. Of course, all women are femme fatale, really. They're people who are using sex. And Sam Spade and the other detectives are very, very aware of this, very tempted, succumb on occasions, but above all aware of the way in which sex is being used. So there is a kind of moral judgment there, but the tremendous kind of sexual feel to the novels. Women are always chiseling in Hammett and using their sexuality.
Good morning.
Come in, Mr. Spade. Mr. Spade, I have a terrible, terrible confession to make. That story I told you yesterday was all just a story.
Huh. Well, Miss O'Shaughnessy, as I said, we didn't exactly believe your story. We believed your $200.
Oh?
Yes, you see, you paid us too much to be telling the truth.
You knew that when you accepted the money?
Oh, I suspected it. I was positive when Joe Cairo called on me.
Joe Cairo?
Yeah. Yeah, he seems interested in Floyd Thursby, too.
Mr. Spade, do they know about me?
No, I don't think they do. I've been able to stall them so far.
Must they know about me at all, Mr. Spade? Couldn't you manage somehow to shield me from them?
Maybe. But I'll have to know what it's all about.
I can't tell you now. Later I will, when I can. You must trust me, Mr. Spade. Oh, I'm so alone and afraid. I've got nobody to help me if you won't help me. Be generous, Mr. Spade. You're strong. You're brave. You can spare me some of that strength and courage, surely.
Sister, you don't need much of anybody's help. You're good. Chiefly your eyes, I think, and that throb you get in your voice when you say things like, be generous, Mr. Spade.
All right. I deserve that. But the lie was in the way I said it, and not at all in what I said.
Ah, now you are dangerous. Have you given me any of your confidence, any of the truth? I can't go ahead without more confidence in you than I have now.
Can't you trust me just a little while?
Well, how much is a little? And what are you waiting for?
I must talk to Joe Cairo.
Well, you can see him tonight. I know where to reach him.
Oh, he can't come here. I can't let him know where I am. I'm afraid.
We'll all meet at my place, then.
All right.
Perhaps the most famous interpreter of the role of Sam Spade was Humphrey Bogart, who played him in John Huston's 1940 film version for Warner Brothers, and subsequently recreated the role on radio before a live audience in 1943 and 1946. Peter Stead.
I think Bogart was perfect. Bogart is dour, he's cynical, he's straight-laced. It's funny because people later associate Bogart with Chandler's Marlowe, but I would say that Bogart was better suited to Sam Spade than he was to Marlowe. And other actors played Marlowe well. But Bogart was perfect, I think, as Sam Spade.
Now, look, Angel, Gutman and Cairo will talk when the cops nail them about us. We've only got minutes to get set for the police. Now, give me your whole story fast.
Well, where shall I begin?
The day you first came to my office. Why did you want Thursby shadowed?
I suspected him of betraying me to Gutman, and I wanted to find out.
That's a lie. Gutman tried to make a deal with him. You had Thursby hooked and you knew it. You wanted to get him out of the way before Captain Jacoby arrived with the Falcon. Isn't that so? What was your scheme?
I thought if he saw someone following him, he might be frightened into going away.
Now, look, Archer hadn't many brains, but he wasn't clumsy enough to be spotted the first night. You must have told Thursby he was being followed.
I told him. Yes. But please believe me, Sam, I wouldn't have told him if I'd thought Floyd would kill him.
If you thought he wouldn't kill Archie, you were right, Angel.
Didn't he?
Archie had been a detective too long to be caught shadowing a man up a blind alley with his gun tucked away in his hip and his overcoat buttoned. But he'd have gone up there with you, Angel. He was just dumb enough for that.
Sam.
And then you could have stood as close to him as you liked, there in the dark. Put a hole through him with a gun you'd gotten from Thursby that evening.
Don't talk to me like that, Sam. You know I didn't.
Now, the police will be blowing in any minute now, Angel. Talk.
Oh, why do you accuse me of such a terrible...
Why did you shoot Archer? You thought Thursby would tackle him and one or the other would go down. If Thursby was killed, then you were rid of him. If it was Archer, then you could see that Thursby was caught. Was that it?
Something.
And when you find
like
out that Thursby didn't mean to tackle Archie, you borrowed the gun and did it yourself, right?
I guess so.
I know so. You didn't know Gutman was here looking for you until you learned Thursby was shot. Then you needed another protector. So you came back to me.
Yes, but... Oh, sweetheart, it wasn't only that. I would have come back to you sooner or later. From the very first instant I saw you, I knew that...
Ah, you angel. Well, if you get a good break, you'll be out of San Quentin in 20 years.
Sam, you're not...
Yes, Angel. I'm going to send you over. But if they hang you, I'll always remember you.
Don't, Sam. Don't say that. Even in fun.
It's not fun. I happen to be in the detective business, and you killed my partner. It's bad business to let the killer get away with it. Bad for every detective in this country. You're taking the fall.
Sam Spade became the star of his own radio series in 1946. The Adventures of Sam Spade Detective ran first on CBS and then on NBC until 1951. Howard Duff starred as Sam, and the show was produced and director of radio production who'd created the spine-tingling suspense series. Hammett wrote none of the scripts. Indeed, he'd written almost nothing since 1934 and had been living on the royalties from his books and characters, who included not just Sam Spade, but also Nick and Nora Charles, the husband and wife detective team of MGM's popular Thin Man film series. But the radio writers captured...
They are, of course, a development from Dashiell Hammett. They always used Hammett's name, but I think we must recognize the input of William Spear, the director, and his team of writers. They've taken the sound...
Times, then collapsed in a heap on the deck. When I got to the spot, only the dead one was there. It was Spicer. The other man had disappeared around the corner of the deck house. A ray of light from the pilot's window swept over him, and I saw gunmetal shine in his hand and then spin out over the rail as he threw it.
What? Oh, it's you, Sam. Oh, I was afraid you'd lost him.
What did you do it for, Dick?
I had my reasons, Sam. Now, trust me, I'll keep you in the clear.
How long? As long as I go on playing sucker for you?
What do you think I hired you for?
Maybe I was supposed to say you killed him in self-defense. Maybe I was supposed to see him making passes at your wife if you needed
But,
that.
Sam, you've got
I've worked for killers before. I've even worked for thieves, but not for a detective that knocks over a place he's supposed to be protecting.
Sam, it's not a
Save
simple...
it for the cops, Dick. I'm turning you in when we get to Oakland.
No, you're not, Sam.
Dick, come back here.
Let go, me. I'm going over the side. If you try to stop me, you're going with me.
He fought away from me, got 1 foot over the rail, and kicked out at me with the other. It caught me on the point of the chin. I stumbled forward and grabbed out blind. I must have caught him by the belt just as he jumped. I remember something pulling me halfway over the rail and trying to get free of it. I did, but not soon enough. I was in midair, and the black water came rushing up to meet me. Mechanically keeping afloat somehow and trying to get out of my coat. I felt heavy and logged as if I'd swallowed gallons of water. The murk hung low and thick. There was nothing else to be seen anywhere. I swallowed what felt like several more gallons before I got rid of the coat. From out of a misty fog blanket from every direction in a dozen different keys from near and far, foghorns sounded. I stopped swimming and floated on my back trying to determine my whereabouts. After a while, I picked out the moaning, evenly spaced blasts of the Alcatraz siren. But they came out of the fog without direction. It seemed to beat down on me from straight above. I was somewhere in San Francisco Bay, and that was all I knew I suspected the current was sweeping me out toward the Golden Gate. And a light came up ahead of me suddenly. A boat passing a few yards away. I lifted my head and screamed. The boat siren, crying his warning, drowned out my shouts. Went on fast, and the fog closed in behind it. Then I heard a new sound. Seagulls. I swam towards it, and it seemed to get lighter. Part of it was the dawn light beginning to cut through the fog blanket. But there was also a strange-looking man standing on the water and waving a green lantern back and forth. I yelled at him to wait for me, and a seagull got off his hat and